and it's indeed my honor to be your host for today. Firstly, I'd request all of you to give a big shout out and a big clap to Exchange for Media for completing over 26th year they are at. So it's not easy being in that space and doing such relentless work and creating such incredible IPs to support all the industries. The theme of today's conference is OH Advertising at the Crossroads, from visibility to value. The conference brings together some of the sharpest minds you'll all interact with from across brands, agencies, media owners, as well as the technology partners to decode the next phase of out-of-home advertising. As OH moves beyond just the presence and scale, the industry is at that critical juncture where visibility must translate into measurable impact, value, as well as accountability. This conference will thereby explore creativity, data infrastructure, as well as the innovation which is reshaping OH into a high-performance medium within India's today's integrated media ecosystem. Through the insightful keynotes, be it the engaging panel discussions, and of course, the real-world case studies, today's conference looks at highlighting and spotlighting the trends, formats, as well as the strategies which will shape the future of OH. I hope you can all take back something from today, and I hope that helps you in your future endeavors. But before we proceed, I would like to request all of you, if you're in the room, the ones who are even at the back, if you can hear me, to please place your phones on the silent mode so that it does not interrupt the proceedings of today. And also, if you can share your insights, your suggestions, and what you've learned on social media with the hashtag e4m OOH conference as one word. We've kept the hashtag very simple so that every year when you hashtag, you can connect with the ones in the room. And also it gives you a chance to spotlight your ideas. So we'd urge all of you to hashtag e4m OOH conference as one word. Before we get started, we'd also like to have a keen mention and express our gratitude to all the partners who've been with us, without whose support this event would not have been possible. Our powered by partner, Amazon on-package ads. Through every Amazon delivery into a brand moment delivered into your customer's hand, literally. We also would like to extend our gratitude to our gold partner, Lemma, omni-channel platform for emerging media. Our associate partner, Ninja Media, India's largest railway media network. And our co-partners, DG Tool, Taking Logic Outdoors, and One Up Trade, India's leading and most trusted barter company. Well, with this, I'd request your attention on the screen, as I'd now like to cue in for the audio-visual presentations of the partners.
This is what attention looks like today. An average Indian consumer spends nearly 9 hours a day across platforms. And everything moves faster than it can be taken in. In the middle of it all, your brand shows up. Trying to be seen, trying to connect, trying to be remembered. But even then, you're left wondering what actually stayed, because people don't remember everything they see. They remember what they experience in moments that matter to them. And some moments already come with attention, with anticipation, with intent. When your brand shows up there, it doesn't fight to create a moment. It becomes the moment. Because your brand does not need to chase attention. With Amazon on-package advertisement, it arrives when attention is already there.
Introducing Lemma Integral, an AI-first full-funnel attribution platform with built-in AI discovery and more. Designed to respond to countless prompts. Unified planning across every device, every audience. making every outcome measurable across the funnel. Turn every impression into impact. Lima Integral, made for outdoor to outcome.
Ninja Media is now Ninja Media AI AdTech Private Limited, one of India's fastest growing railway and transit out-of-home advertising networks. With a wide presence across stations, states and major cities, Ninja Media delivers unmatched reach across India. Through a powerful mix of media formats, we create impactful advertising experiences. Railway audio advertising integrates brand messages into train announcements, creating unskippable moments of attention. Large format digital LED screens deliver dynamic campaigns across high traffic commuter zones. Static media and train branding ensure continuous visibility across the journey. Massive scale, nationwide visibility. That's why leading national brands trust Ninja Media. Across banking, FMCG and global consumer categories, partner with Ninja Media to create powerful transit advertising campaigns.
Imagine a traveler on the way to the office, exposed to a powerful message on a DOS screen or static site. That moment doesn't end there. Using smart location signals, the same audience is retargeted on their mobile devices and connected TVs, amplifying the brand message across screens. With DG Tool, brands can track the entire journey, from awareness to consideration and measurable brand uplift, turning real-world exposure into a connected, measurable consumer experience. Because today's outdoor advertising shouldn't stop at the street. It should follow the audience, engage them again, and drive real impact. DG Tool, taking logic to outdoor.
OneUp Trade introduces OneUp Shop, India's first online barter redemption store. With over 10,000 products across categories, it empowers registered businesses to redeem their barter credits online with convenience and choice like never before. OneUp Trade, India's leading and most trusted barter company. Since 2007, we have proudly served over 2,200 clients and crossed an aggregate turnover of 1,325 crores. Our offerings include a wide range of media, goods, and services. Get in touch and explore the benefits of barter with OneUp Trade, your go-to barter experts.
Well, there shouldn't be silence in the room when we've just had the partner presentation. So please do join me in giving them a big, big round of applause. And Mumbai, I feel you can be much more better with that applause. So come on, let's have a little bit more of an energy exchange amongst each other. Thank you so much to each and every one. And of course, a big thank you to all our partners for being with us on this very edition. Of course, now at the 8th edition of the OH conference, it's indeed my honor to also talk a little bit about the QR code which is on your tables. Now you might be wondering where does that QR code lead you to? So the QR code on your 10 cards will officially lead you to the WhatsApp channel, and that WhatsApp channel of course allows you to stay in touch, be well versed with what's happening in your industry. That's the one-stop platform for all of you. So I would urge and request each and every one during the course of today, just scan the QR code. We can see a lot of you taking out your mobile phones. Scan the QR code, be a part of the WhatsApp channel, and be in sync with what's happening in your industry. Now, of course, it's time for me to call upon the leader, leading it from the front, an eternal optimist, a visionary, and an entrepreneur rolled into one. Please join me in now welcoming the Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, BW Business World, and Founder, Exchange for Media. Please give a big, big round of applause as we welcome Dr. Anurag Batra. Come on, everyone, let's give him a big, big round of applause as we welcome him.
Good afternoon. It's my honor and privilege to be here. Bhavna hosted our Impact 30 Under 30 12th edition. She did a fab job. The Impact team led by Neeta Nair and the e4m team supporting them did a fab job. Give Bhavna and our e4m teams a big round of applause. You know, my friend Mr. Alok Gupta of Graphics had his hair. I started Exchange for Media 26 years back. In June, it'll be 26 years. But before that, I used to work with J. Walter Thompson and I used to work in outdoor. So I know a little bit about outdoor industry. Some of the stalwarts of outdoors, both intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs, I've known well. And I remember I've shared this story before. But one day I was in Cannes. I used to go to Cannes very often. I don't go now. My teams, editors, journalists go. And I remember I'd written a column for Pitch. Alok, you heard the story, but you'll have to suffer it again. And Mr. Mukesh Gupta was calling me. Alok's dad was calling me, and they're also my neighbors in Delhi, friends of mine, early supporters of Exchange for Media. Now me, of course, Graphics has done an IPO. You know, Bride Outdoor has done an IPO. An IPO. I hope more outdoor firms, both concessionaires on 24th. Another outdoor concessionaire is doing its IPO. And he called me and he said, I had just written a column in Pitch. And he said, he was calling me and there was a time difference. So I told him I'm in Cannes. I was sleeping. I've just woken up. You were calling me. So he said, I'm very upset with you. I said, why are you upset with me? He said, because you've written this column in Pitch where you're saying that there is a caste system in the advertising business and the outdoors are the lower caste. I don't believe in the caste system. I gave an analogy. You have to write columns, and I apologized to him and I said, that's not the intent, but I explained to him that outdoor was not the priority for advertisers, right? But I think in the last 20 odd years that has changed. At Pitch Madison Advertising Outlook and the Dentsu e4m report, we track the amount of advertising being spent in every medium. And outdoor as a medium should have grown more, but the good news, it's held steady in terms of percentage. The absolute volume can grow. Outdoor industry is depending on what estimation you take, between 6,000 to 8,000 crores, is likely to grow by at least 10% in the next 2 years. Also what is happening is that rapid urbanization, smart city initiatives, high investments from sectors like FMCG, retail and real estate are growing outdoor. The digital OOH is growing faster than the overall OOH domain. The digital OOH and the integration of OOH with mobile phones and connected devices is really adding value and fillip to the outdoor space. The static and traditional OOH, as we call it, is still dominant. It's almost 2/3 of the total OOH market. Key formats, are hoardings, billboards. They are still almost 45% of the share, followed by transit media, airports, metros, railways, which is almost 35-40%. Now the top markets are of course Mumbai and Delhi. The values in Mumbai in certain parts are huge that contribute a large number. The rural push in India is increasingly becoming important for brands. Brands are looking to grow beyond the traditional markets, and hence the OOH push in the rural areas will add growth. India ranks as the 5th largest OOH market if you take it by size. The growth trends include that the programmatic DOH, programmatic digital out of home, is growing. Rising adoption of programmatic buying allows for real-time dynamic and contextually relevant ad campaigns. The infrastructure growth, new expressways, for example, Delhi-Mumbai, airport expansions and metro projects are creating premium new sites. Look at the new Noida airport, right? The tender happened last year. It went for a certain amount and more airports are getting in. My hunch is that we projected that OOH will grow by 10%. It will grow by more than 10%. I'm sure during the day you will listen to the experts. This is the 8th edition of the conference. In the evening, we have Neons, our out-of-home advertising award. And I keep saying my vision for this particular domain is much larger and not just a day-long conference. Unlike other OOH conferences, we bring advertisers into the room. In most other OH, and there aren't too many, there are one or two, they bring outdoor guys talking to outdoors. What is the point? Exchange for Media is about clients and media agencies and the players. There's no point. Outdoor guys are not going to sell to outdoor guys. So we are the only platform as an event, as a website, as an editorial product that brings advertisers and media agencies. I think that's where we are able to connect you with those. I don't want to talk more about OH, but I do want to talk about the fact what I talked at the 30 under 30, that we give ourselves too much credit for our success. I read books, I buy books. This is a book I read 17 months back, and I keep talking about it. I get new audiences. That this book basically says that everything is a fluke, tukka, prarabdh, preordainment, luck, chance, serendipity. We give ourselves too much credit for what we achieve, but it happens because of many factors. In my case, I'm a Hindu. I believe it happens because of the sukarma of my parents, my grandparents. It's a lovely book by Brian Closs. You may want to read it. How many of you sleep less than 6 hours? Yeah, 20% of the audience. How many of you sleep 8 hours or more? 30, 40. This is the best audience in terms of 8 hours plus sleep. But India is a sleep deprived country. Whatever you want to achieve is about sleep. I tell all my colleagues, I come one night before I sleep. I slept almost 9 hours last night. I'm the highest energy. I didn't have my phone around me for a long time. That adds to my energy. Whatever you do in life, sleep 8 hours. Of course, in the night, don't sleep at work. Okay. These are the sectors that are growing, and I keep talking about it. This is a McKinsey prediction for 2040. Alok, the e-commerce sector is growing, the AI software sector is growing, cloud services is growing, electric vehicles. The digital ads will be 3 trillion. So the digital ads has to be integrated with the out-of-home traditional semiconductors, autonomous vehicles, and so on and so forth. The one big requirement for this is energy. Huge data processing. That means whatever we do in OH or in any domain, we have to worry about sustainability. Sustainability is not an hoax, it's a reality. Today, summers are coming 1 month in advance. For instance, March end in Delhi, I live in Delhi, I come to Bombay very often. You know, the summers have advanced. That's one real test of, sustainability, and there's a climate change. This is a book I bought 20 days back and read it on the flight last night. It's called Beyond Belief, and I buy books from their covers. Lovely cover. Also, the author wrote to me, and I loved reading it. It basically said, whatever you believe, you can make it happen. So you have to reprogram yourself. If you want to achieve better health, better relationships, better business outcomes, the only limitation is your thinking. What is the meaning we give to, and I know this, but I'm reiterating, it's the storytelling. So it's the meaning that we give to what we believe is what creates our reality. If we can change what we believe, for example, it talked about an example of, rats, which were put, this is I read it in the business school and it's in the book. There are certain jungle rats and there were some domesticated rats. They were put in a jar of water, and the jungle rats who were rough, tough, died, but the domesticated rats survived. They survived because they lived around human beings and they knew how to, they always believed that something would save them. They had hope. They had an expectation that if they maneuvered, they could save themselves because they lived. So, if you have that belief that you can come out of any situation, you will more often than not come out of it. Or from a positive sense, if you believe you're running a marathon and you believe you can't, but if you tell your brain you can, you will do it. Of course, you got to work for it. So I don't want to go on longer, but I want to end by saying that this is the 26th year of Exchange for Media. This is the 23rd year of Impact, 24th year of Pitch, 16th year of our site in Hindi called samacharformedia.com, 22nd year of our real estate magazine. And I think we've become what we've become because of the fabulous colleagues, Michelle and her team have put together this event, and the patronage that we get from the industry, Exchange for Media, to truly supported by friends. I was telling one of my sales colleagues that, I saw a gentleman I haven't seen for many years, that these are people who supported us when we started and we were young, and we've come a long way. So my gratitude to everyone who supported us to be in our 26th year. We believe our best is yet to come. We feel that we've just got started. As the industry changes, one of the words that is being used everywhere is generative AI. How is it changing our industry? I can only tell you that the more generative AI grows, the value of human touch and face-to-face interactions, the value of ideas, the value of innovation will grow. Of course, AI is a tool and we must use the tool to be able to get better, but AI is not going to replace humans. It is going to replace some low-end jobs, and it'll become a tool for certain things. For example, in the software domain, already Claude and everybody else is making sure that traditional software development is being disrupted, you know, and it will happen in many industries like healthcare and so on and so forth. So we at e4m are launching a two-day workshop for our industry to learn how to use AI for improving our jobs. I hope that next year when we meet, more OH firms have done their IPOs, their stock prices are doing better, and the OH industry sees much better measurement. For the last 2 decades, we are talking about better measurement in all our domains, whether it's television, print, magazines, newspapers, and also in OH. The better measurement can also help us command better premiums and better prices. I remember in 2099, I used to be at Portland. Sunandan Chaudhary was my boss. And I remember we had 2 clients, 3 clients I remember. One I remember Maruti. In Khan Market, we did a, first Lou branding, for Maruti. Today, there are many more options. Creativity matters, taking chances early on new innovations that may not seem palatable or maybe don't have high impact initially may be the right way. So take chances, start new things. Big ideas start small, but they grow. And I want to end by saying, keep your ideas enormous and your ego zero. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anurag Batra. Let's give him a big, big round of applause for a great start of our event. And as he rightly said, we're at the 8th edition of the OH conference. And towards the end, we're going to be also celebrating the excellence in the room via the awards. So get set for the e4m Neon Awards as well in the night. We now would like to move ahead to a very interesting session. Let's talk about the receptivity gap. When consumers tune out versus when they're ready to listen. Our next speaker leads Amazon's India's externalization businesses, including Amazon on-package ads, Amazon shipping, Amazon freight, and Amazon air cargo. With over 25 years of experience across logistics, e-commerce, retail, telecom, oil and gas, and IT, and a decade of cross-geographical experience across the US and EU, he brings a global perspective to building scalable business solutions. Please join me in welcoming Shilpi Barkam, GM, India Externalization, Amazon India. Let's give him a warm, warm round of applause.
Yes. Yeah, just the next one. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Can folks at the back of the room hear me? Awesome, thank you. Unfortunately, I think I am the one between you and your lunch, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Or in this context, as we call, I am the one that you want to scroll past or skip. On a serious note, I think pretty much all the folks in this room have built their careers in making sure brands are seen. Yeah? What does that mean? You have negotiated hard on placements, you've negotiated and haggled on the budget for the budgets in the boardrooms. You probably even discussed and optimized for the creatives. In fact, you've delivered results on your reach numbers as well. Despite all of that, there's one hard question that's staring at us, the elephant in the room, which is anyone genuinely paying attention? What I mean by that is, most of the time that we are catching our customer, what are they? What state of mind they are in is something that I want to discuss here. As Anurag Batra was talking about this, India is not just sleep deprived. Unfortunately, India is third in the list in the most ad fatigued. Our consumers are fatigued with the ads. And Snap Kantar studies saying that the conventional digital ads are losing their effectiveness. 70% of Indians are skipping digital ads as fatigue sets in. Why is that happening? And the number of platforms that are competing, the number of brands. It's interesting to note that I'm not talking about small budgets. We're talking about 100 crore plus budgets, but they're competing brands. And why is this happening? The answer is fairly simple. You're catching the consumer at the time either they are mid-commute, mid-scroll, mid-episode. In fact, I see a lot of nodding heads, so that tells me that I'm fairly bang on. In fact, you're catching them at the wrong time. They don't want you. Honest truth. And that is creating a lot of passive, cluttered state. And they're actively scrolling past. And hence came this new industry. And interestingly, Amazon has got a very unusually, genuinely vantage point view of all what's happening in the industry. We do little more than, let's put it as, we do close to 3.5, 4 million shipments a day, 18,000 plus pin codes. We got coverage in metros, tier 3, tier 4 towns, villages. One thing, any guesses on what is the biggest contact or driver for us from a customer support point of view? Any guesses in the room? What drives the most number of contacts at Amazon when they reach out to Amazon? Yeah? App? Nope. Second guess? Yeah? Sorry, you're saying something? It is, where's my package? And this is when we are on time. So there's a genuine anticipation that our customers are having when they're expecting their package. And at that point, there are active receptivity factors. There is an intentional engagement, which is deliberate and anticipated act. There's a positive emotional state, undivided attention. The customer is at that point trying to wait for that package and receive that package. In fact, I just got a call from my mom saying, hey, I'm getting this shipment, where is it, etc., what is the OTP and all that. So there's a high anticipation for that package. In this time, it's an AC, obviously, in the summer. There's an extended exposure. These boxes are high quality, and we are seeing use cases where customers want to retain these boxes. And I'll talk about it in the next slide, just hold on to that. And finally, there is zero competitive clutter. So the long and short of it is what we call the HPR. You are reaching out to the customer at the time of a heightened, positive, receptive state. And that's where the OPA was born, on-package advertising. Imagine in this state that the brand is there on the box. And there are enough and more studies, and I can quote them ad nauseum, which talk about what it does from a neurological and behavioral point of view to the human brain. When it's cluttered, we have evolved to a point where we filter out the noise. But when you're in an anticipatory mode, where you're expecting a reward, your brain cells and the brain circuits open up. And this, we have enough evidence from the research that shows that this leads to subsequent positive choices for the brands. And that is where the game is. As I said, it's millions of what Amazon offers is millions of daily high receptivity moments, millions of them, the reach, and of course the affluence of the customers. More importantly, if anybody is thinking that this is a replacement for the digital media, that's not true. This is going to complement it. And we're going to talk about that in the next case study that we're going to show. So what happens, all that was theory. So what happens in reality and practicals? Brands, if they want to execute on the insights we just talked about, we had a use case, we had a study where Society Tea came to us and say, hey, I want to create not just impressions, but create lasting impressions. So the approach we took was high receptivity moment that we talked about at the time of delivery of a shipment. What can we do for the brand on the box? And if we just take a pause, it just doesn't have to be any, just a brand on the box. You can use creativity here. What Society Tea and us and Amazon did was, you look at the right side here, we created a perforated coaster for the brand, which can be torn out and we put part of your daily ritual of a tea or a coffee or whatever drink you're having as part of your dining set. And as I said, the digital part of it, it enables direct engagement through the QR codes that are seen in the box. So you can scan that and directly takes to the product page of the brand. And we can get very specific from what insights we have and how we reach out, how the brand reaches out to the customer. Specific regions, specific categories. For example, let's say a customer is purchasing any complementary product, shoes, socks, yeah, tea, sugar, etc. Right? If you're buying a sugar and you want tea or vice versa, we can go very specific to a brand, to a region and the category. Finally, all of this leads to the results. What are the results telling us? We are seeing upliftment, and this is by an independent study that Nielsen conducted, that the brand awareness has gone up 44%, purchase intent has gone up, the ad recall has gone up, and finally the sales upliftment has gone up. All of these, by the way, are falling in the top quartile. And this is an independent study by Nielsen, so the brands are loving it. So what beyond FMCG? Somebody during the conversation just now was asking me, so what else? We're seeing this across the board now. These are still early green shoots, I would say, but BFSI, real estate, I'm seeing this in entertainment, as I said, FMCG and home improvement. So multiple categories across the board, brands want this because they're seeing that this is a receptive moment that they're catching the customer in. And just to end this, I want you to leave you with one thought. There's this research that probably you would have heard, Edgar Dale. It's called Cone of Experience. If not, you should read it up. It's fairly insightful. The person says that at the time, the most experiential thing that a customer or any human being experiences, 80% of recall happens there. So this on-package advertising is a great trifecta of offline, digital, and physical. And that's the thought I want to leave you with. It is not a problem of content. It's a problem of context that OPA brilliantly solves for. Thank you. Yeah.
Just want to give you a token of appreciation.
Sure.
Can we have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much to our speaker, Shilpi. Excuse me, can you bring the... Sorry, apologies.
No worries.
It's okay, guys. Just give it to me. Come on, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, a great start, and I'm sure Shilpi, with all his experience, did help us decode the topic of receptivity gap. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move ahead to our fireside chat. And let's talk about the branding on the move. Let's speak a little bit about building automotive narratives beyond screens. And who better than our speaker who's joining us next? She's the Chief Marketing Officer, Auto Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. Please do join me in welcoming Manjari Upadhyay. Let's give her a big, big round of applause. And joining Manjari is going to be the one curating this conversation. Please give a big round of applause to the Senior Editor and Group Editorial Evangelist of Exchange for Media, Ms. Kanchan Srivastava. Come on, Mumbai, we can be much more better with that applause. And a big thank you to Manjari for joining us, and thank you so much, Kanchan, for taking over the curation.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. And branding on the move. So my colleague Shantanu has given us a wonderful topic, I guess. And in a category where the product is always on the move, I think storytelling can't be static, right? So auto brands today are focusing on narratives that travel far beyond traditional screens. To unpack this, we are delighted to have Manjari over here. So welcome to the chat, Manjari. So before we begin, I would like to have a small quiz. I know we are sitting between you and lunch. So who can tell us when was Mahindra and Mahindra founded? Oh my God. Any guesses? And what was it doing in the beginning? No. So it was founded in 1945, I guess, and it was initially a steel trading company. And it pivoted to assembly of Jeeps in 1947. And the company's initial name was Mahindra and Muhammad. Okay, and then later it was changed to Mahindra and Mahindra, I guess, right? Post-partition, right. So coming to my first question, cars are aspiration products, right? How do you translate this aspiration into formats like billboards, transit media, and ambient OH?
No, thank you for the question. Before I get into cars being aspirational and therefore how does OH behave differently for automotive, just want to set a bit of a context that, if you look at outdoor, all categories can leverage from it. From airlines to Alpine, everything can leverage from outdoor presence. The two big vectors that I have at least looked at throughout the career in FMCG, automotive, etc. One is context, and that's absolutely critical. And the other is the call to action that you really want your consumers to take away. And just to give you an example of context in the context of automotive and all, this RWA advertising with now digital OH becoming so popular is a really low hanging fruit, so to speak. The people, our residents are standing near the elevator and you get to see it. So obviously it's measurable, right? As people say, oh, DOH is now measurable. So it's measurable. It is right in your face, but is it contextual? And that's what I want to give an example of. If you are standing in your society building near the elevator and you see an advertisement of a car that's talking about space and great interiors, and then you get into your elevator, has it done anything to build your context? Would you even be receptive to wanting to take a look at the car because it's so anti? And I have nothing against RW advertising. Some of the products work really, really well in that context, but not automotive in my mind. And therefore setting the context versus travel retail, that's the next upcoming physical out of home, if you will. That's just a great place to showcase your car, its interiors, functionality, and everything else, and can add so much more value. Plus, it also minimizes this whole spillover. Guess what's the automotive penetration in the country?
Yeah, wonderful. So Manjari, because you talked about context, so it was going to be my next question. India is so diverse, right? From highways to metro cities to small towns to rural roads, everything offer different contexts, right? So how do you tailor narratives across these environments?
Yeah, and there I was just building on this, that the automotive penetration in the country is around 9%. And if you're, using, all sorts of outdoor or digital medium to talk about your cars, there's a lot of spillover. But airports offer fantastic context for automotive companies to display their products, etc. Because at the end of the day, customer buys when they take a test drive. And therefore, getting the walk-ins into the dealerships is the main task, I would say, whether it's a highway or it's travel retail or anywhere else. But the specific context that I have is on commercial vehicles where, people gather around for getting whatever their loads, etc., to be transported. Those are called stands. And stands outdoor is the maximum ROI delivering element, more than TV, more than any digital.
Very interesting, very interesting. And Manjari, with the emergence of programmatic DOH and the lot of the technology-driven targeting, how technology is reshaping the storytelling now in the automotive sector? Because
Yeah. So earlier, measurement was a challenge with outdoor. You didn't know. You probably estimated the footfalls, etc., and therefore the eyeballs, and had some ballpark ways of measuring the metrics. But now with digital outdoor programmatic, you can actually figure out what's the actual real number of impressions. But I like I said, context is so important. It could be just like people consume empty calories. It could be just empty impressions, and therefore it's very important to a new launch absolutely does very well. But any feature uplift or any tech related stuff, I would say customers are most appreciative of it when they take a test drive and they experience it on their own. So focus for those features only when they walk into the showroom. Focus on delivering walk-ins via all these mediums.
yeah, so I think you mentioned about measurement, and I think it is in the context of digital,
Yeah.
programmatic, and all. But in general, OH, there is, I mean, it continues to face, challenges of the measurement, right? So IOA has come up with the Roadstar, a software, but I think it is yet to be accepted widely by the industry. What metrics and frameworks do you rely on to evaluate the OH in general?
So at Mahindra, we use it largely as a support medium at this point in time, where if you're announcing a new launch, obviously it's great. It's worked beautifully for our commercial vehicles, where we've been able to measure actually the number of bookings that were generated because of the 30-day hoardings that we did at stands.
Lovely, yeah.
There were days of having lots of hoardings on Western Express Highway by a single brand during launch. You don't see that anymore. And some of the metrics are evolving because of exactly what you mentioned. A lot of softwares now available. We even do market mix modeling, and the impact of outdoor for new launch can definitely be seen in moving the call to action on awareness and consideration. But to drive preference and an actual booking, you need a lot of the sales consultants working with the customers to convince them to book the cars.
So now a sub question: is your out of home advertising investment rising because we have a lot of measurement tools now?
As a proportion, it is the same. However, we are pivoting more to channels which allow for calling out exactly what we want to, like I said, the new launches, because we keep on doing this. We've done 5 refreshes last year and a big launch. So we've used it for that. Travel retail is big. Wherever there is a way to get the customer to experience the product in a physical form, I think that's the best bang for our buck in the automobile industry.
I think experiencing the car is
Yes,
much
the
more
most
effective for all the consumers,
Yes.
customers, right? So for auto category where the product itself lives on the road, do you think that OH should be primary medium for advertisement rather than a supportive one?
It can be. There are brands that are strong in certain regions, certain cities, and it's the best media isolatable medium. So if you want to, for example, Thar 3-door in Chandigarh, if I have to really go for building more top of mind salience, I will use outdoor. It's again, what's the call to action I want from the customer.
So this one light question. I mean, one bold OH idea you haven't executed so far, but would love to.
Oh, the impact of ADAS on how you actually see the road. And if I could do it on a highway where I could totally tell the customer, what impact an ADAS can have on their ability to maneuver and drive very carefully, I think that's one idea that's in my head, but not been able to execute yet.
Oh, beautiful. So digital promises precision and OH delivers presence, right? So when budget is tightened, which one wins in the boardroom?
So like I said, top of mind, you have to keep the funnels going, whether it's the top funnel, middle funnel, or the bottom funnel. And digital is very good at segregating those and delivering to your objectives on all the three funnel types. So obviously, that takes precedence. But I think contextual outdoor is equally important, and we have not given that up for a couple of our model brands and commercial vehicles for sure.
Okay, great. So what excites you the most about the future of OH storytelling?
I think at some point in time, ability to tell stories, what static was not able to do. And you had to really put just 3 words out there or just a very specific call to action. At some point in time, outdoor will be able to tell stories that we tell through digital in places where customers are waiting or in places where, in traffic jams, etc. And that would be, the beauty of that coming together with digital that I look forward to leveraging.
Right, right. So what is harder, in building aspiration in a 30-second film or in a 3-second glance at a traffic signal?
30-second aspiration is still more difficult. 3-second glance is one thing that you want to call out. For example, Duster is back. Everyone is seeing those things. It's right there and you understand it correctly. But to build aspiration in 30 seconds in today's automotive world, their interior comfort, etc. And to talk about all of that in 30 seconds and tell a story, it's a very difficult task to do.
Oh, really? Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Any question? No? Thank you so much,
Thank
Manjari,
you.
for sharing your time and
Thank
wisdom
you.
with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, and may we request both of you to please stay with us on stage, allow us an opportunity to call upon Siddharth Dabari, who is the Chief Business Officer of Lemma, to please join us and help us in giving a token of appreciation to both of them. Kanchan, please do stay with us on stage. Thank you so much, Manjari, for taking out your valuable time and giving us those key insights we were all seeking for. Please give Manjari Upadhyay a big round of applause as we thank her. And maybe just request the three of you right in the center, if that's possible. We just want the OH Conference 2026 in the background. And we want all of you to celebrate that with us with a big round of applause as we thank our speakers on the same. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Kanchan, for curating it. And thank you, Siddharth, for joining us as our presenter for the token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, outdoor advertising used to be all about presence. Today, it's about precision. Welcome to the world of DOOH, the digital out of home, where screens are no longer static billboards, but dynamic data-driven storytelling platforms across our cities. And now with programmatic DOH, we're not just placing ads, we're placing the right message at the right moment with the right context. And to talk on this and much more are our next set of speakers who are here with us to share their key anecdotes. We'd like to firstly call upon, and of course, we'd request the team to now display the creative on the screen. May I urge and request all our speakers to sit as per the creative so that it can help our audience to, of course, not only know you better, but also for the people who are watching us live. So can we please place the creative on the screen? Thank you. Yes, right there. We're going to be starting with firstly calling upon our speaker. Please join me in welcoming Jiten Agarwal, Chief Marketing Officer, Heritage India. Thank you so much, Jiten, for joining us. May I also take the opportunity of inviting Karthik Subramanian, Head Brand Raymond Lifestyle Limited. Siddharth Tabare, Chief Business Officer, Lemma. Please do give him a big round of applause as we welcome. And to our moderator for this conversation, join me in giving a big round of applause to Deepshika Bharadwaj, National Lead, Media Strategy, Shebang. A warm welcome to all our speakers. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time. And of course, Deepshika, over to you to take it forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. And thank you for giving all of us this opportunity to talk about this evolving upcoming topic of DOH and especially programmatic DOH. I feel programmatic DOH is sitting right at a perfect intersection of outdoor as well as digital. So on one hand, we have the scale of outdoor, and on the other hand, we have the precision of digital. So now we can control the entire narrative. We can exactly deliver the communication at right moment, right time to the right target audience. On that note, I would like to open the panel discussion. And my first question is for you, Karthik. I would like to understand, when did you started using DOH as a part of your media mix? Is it actually a business need, or is it the innovation that motivated you to experiment with DOH?
Yeah, as a marketing person, it would be very nice for me to say that we wanted to do something very innovative. That wasn't the case. I've been very DOH advertising. I moved in less as a DOH evangelist and more as a चल देखते हैं क्या होता है वाला option. It actually emanated from a business need more than anything else. In Raymond, we are a retail-based fashion company, and that means that advertising in core hotspots, very in close proximity to our stores, is a very important thing. And therefore, I was having a chat with our media planners, and they said very simply that yes, you can get outdoor, but we don't have any regular outdoors for you around the store. Sab big hai. So what's left? We have DOH. Why don't you look at that? So it is literally because of that we decided to explore DOH. It has been how do you say, serendipitously found in our media plans to begin with. But over a period of time, I think it's involved. It's involved for us. I've seen a lot of benefits that have come to us as a result of DOH-based advertising as well. But yeah, that was the entry point. It wasn't anything creative. It was only that we just couldn't find any regular OH sites close to our stores. And in cities like Mumbai, the proliferation of DOH is very high, at least in core catchment areas that we are looking for. We find that more often than not, we will find DOH site next to our store versus a regular OH site, and therefore we tend to pick them.
So basically, a need of the hour, which is now a part of your regular media mix.
Absolutely. However, there's been some progression. Shall I tell you about that in terms of how we?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's turned out to be quite interesting because once we put up our ads, and I still think brands, including us, have a long way to evolve as far as advertising on DOH are concerned. While I was coming to Novotel, for example, there's a big DOH billboard. It's horizontal. It's got, I think, Mahindra Insurance and Ria Travels. These are the two creatives that are there.
Okay.
And as I can see, most of the brands tend to use DOH, at least this particular DOH, as carousel ads if they're doing multiple screens, or the brands themselves. Multiple brands are effectively a carousel ad in that particular DOH. Therefore, I think in terms of utilization, there's a long way to go. Raymond, though, is a brand that is built on storytelling. And I think Manjari was here a minute back and she was talking about storytelling, and I could resonate very clearly with that. It's something that we struggle with as far as our regular OH advertising is concerned. The other thing that's very important for a brand like Raymond, which I find DOH offers. In fact, we've got our DOH campaigns going on right now, and I mean, our media planners are right here who are executing it. So it's absolutely phenomenal because the way the garment falls, the drape, the stitch, the focus on the embroidery, these are it's very interesting. At the moment, we've got one campaign that is pure traditional OH, and one campaign that is, I would say, 75% DOH. Both are fabric related campaigns. One's fabric, the other is garment. To be very honest, I'm not very happy with the fabric campaign that's running on traditional OH because उठ के नहीं आ रहा है. You can't see the
colors and the fabric
absolutely
textures,
the
etc.
rendition, depending on the way the sun's falling, depending on the lighting situation, depending on, I mean, various factors, and just the print quality. But all that gets completely evolved as far as DWH is concerned, and we've really brought some of that to life. We have one on the just outside the Bandra ceiling, and it's fabulous. The kind of stuff that we're able to get out of that. So yes, early skeptic into late adopter into DOS. That's where I'd classify myself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Jitin, from you also, I would like to understand when did this experiment has become a part of your media mix, like a serious media touch point?
So I'll just rephrase it a little bit. For us, traditional media, was kind of an experiment, but I think digital, OH, I think was a very, very serious business for us, because the kind of category that we are in, we are all about motion, furniture in motion. Now, a static billboard obviously cannot do justice to a category like us, where you need to show, how does a furniture in motion feel, look like, kind of, the aesthetics of the entire thing. So also being an aspirational lifestyle brand, it's very important that the media kind of justifies the brand personality of the brand. So from that point of view, I think digital OH, once we thought that probably it had come of age, it had the proper infra to it, it had proper tracking, monitoring. I thought it became a very integrated part of our overall marketing plans, right? So right now, the way we look at it in terms of how we use DOH is very clearly we look at media where you have a high dwell time. So for example, the airports, digital OH, where you need to do storytelling. Again, storytelling comes up because it's not about just putting a static on any, and for example, assuming that the consumer would understand what you want to convey. So very importantly, when you want to bring your storytelling alive, because our category that way is a very low involvement category, and it's a serious category. So how do you actually make it come alive? And that can happen only when you do a little bit of storytelling around it. So how do you tell a story in 10 or 15 seconds, where the consumer probably can grasp what you're trying to say? So from that point of view, it became a very serious part of our overall integrated campaigns that we do. So obviously we don't spend too much of our money, but whenever we do, we ensure, that it kind of communicates one leg of our entire communication strategy. So that's how we have been, kind of using DOH.
Wonderful, wonderful. You talked about measurement, you talked about targeting, etc. So I want to understand from Siddharth, and let's move to programmatic DOH now. A lot of you might not be aware what programmatic DOH is. So what is programmatic DOH in a simple language, if you can explain to our audience, and what are the benefits? How is it different from a regular DOH?
Right. So I think programmatic has come from the digital world, right? And earlier, if I had to give an analogy, when you used to buy a print ad, you would have to, call every newspaper and every local office of newspaper and get your ad. Then as things move into digital, then, you did not kind of call everyone and get your ad placed. So from a manual, it shifted to digital where, the suppliers of the ad inventory are providing the ad supply on a platform, and the advertisers are bidding on it and you're getting it, right? So it's programmatic is nothing but like a stock market for advertising, right? Meaning there are buyers and sellers and you are buying and selling stocks. Similarly, you can do that for ad inventory, and that creates a lot of efficiency and a lot of transparency in that whole process as well. So because of that, now what has happened is that digital is now 70-80% of the budgets. Programmatic is a large part of it. And you would be using like Google DV360 or any other DSP and so on. And there you are able to buy mobile inventory, mobile ad inventory, TV ad inventory. In the same fashion, now you can, through Google interface or through other DSP, you can buy out of home inventory as well. So I think the biggest benefit is that you know when, you know, if you're taken say 1,000 screens in a campaign, you know all my 1,000 screens are running, you are getting a daily report. If there's any problem with some 20 screens or 50 screens, then you know those screens can be replaced, and you know, or you will not pay for those 50 screens where problem is happening, you will pay for 950 screens. So complete, as an advertiser, you have complete control. You know how many screens are running for you. If some screens are faulty, not connected to internet, creative is not loading properly, and so on, or if there could also be an under delivery, all that is, you don't have to pay for it. It's all taken care of in a very transparent way. You are getting what you're paying for, and you're getting daily tracking, so you know that it is running properly. And then from there, you know, you can also add data and tech, and you can do a lot of stuff. So for example, what we have done is we have our own data management platform because of our data partnerships. So you can geofence the screens. Consumers who come into that geofence, you know, they can be retargeted on middle funnel and bottom funnel on their mobile.
Okay.
And you can drive conversions. They can also be retargeted for a survey, brand lift survey, and so on. So you can also understand how there is a brand lift because of the out of home campaign. And this can be done for DOH screens, and this can also be done for even static screens as well.
Okay.
So with in the era of digitization and AI, you would want, you know, all these benefits for your campaign, because otherwise, you know, out of home is great for creating the impact, but you also want those audiences who are impacted by your campaign to get into the digital funnel, and then you can drive end outcome as well, and you can also do the measurement. And so, yeah, meaning, basically all the benefits of digital and programmatic now you can have in out of home as well, where you are able to measure the campaign, you are able to track the campaign, you are also able to measure the impact from a brand lift perspective, and you are also able to drive revenue or leads or even app downloads, and drive the end outcomes which you want.
So as I understand, PDOH has basically is basically providing a full funnel solution, and is not only limited to upper funnel, but we can actually drive it till the last mile.
And you can track the campaign, which is very, very critical.
Great, great. Karthik, from you, I want to understand, have you used PDOH, and if it has benefited your brand?
I was a skeptic on DOH to begin with. Now I'm an adopter. I'm still a skeptic on PDOH at the moment.
Okay.
We haven't executed any campaigns with respect to programmatic DOH so far. It's something, well, to be very honest, I'm trying to figure out what could be the relevant use cases for Raymond. Some of the stuff that I just heard in terms of measurability and tracking seem to be quite interesting, and therefore maybe that's something that we will explore going forward. As of now, no campaigns executed on PDOH.
Great. So now we have a use case already.
Absolutely.
Great, great, great. Jitin, from you, I want to understand, like, are there any challenges which you would have faced on ground while executing DOH campaigns? And do you think if there are any scope of improvement, or if there are any suggestions which you would like to place, since all the industry experts are here?
So as a brand, we have been doing our own DOH, in the sense we've not employed an agency, we buy our own media, right? So one of the biggest challenge that we face is real-time visibility in terms of whether your ads are playing, you know, at the designated slots or not, or whether there is an under delivery which is happening. You know, you just don't have real-time visibility. So that's a big challenge that you have right now. You don't have a kind of a dashboard, you know, where you can see where everything is going as per your plan. So that's something which obviously is required. I think Lema probably comes in at that place where they have one kind of an aggregator who gives you that kind of a real-time tracking and a dashboard, you know, which helps you to kind of track your campaign. The other thing is, you know, you have to kind of deal with so many different vendors, right? I mean, at point of time, because everybody obviously owns certain kind of media, right? So dealing with so many people, each having their own nuances, having their own billing cycles, and all that, it creates a lot of complexity, you know, for a brand, you know. So unnecessary, it's unproductive work, which you're actually spending a lot of time on that. The third thing that which I also see is that in terms of the measurement, you know, so I mean, most of these guys will give you impressions or OTS or whatever, but I mean, are there really hard brand metrics which you want to measure at the end of the day? Can you have something in terms of attribution, saying, can we look at brand lift studies, in terms of how much of that displays helped you to kind of make an impact to the brand, or probably how much of it has helped you for people to walk into your experience centers, so that kind of attribution right now is not there. So you still have metrics which is again based on a lot of estimates and assumptions, right?
Yeah.
It's not very, very hard metrics. That's something. And then beyond metros, when you go, you know how the outdoor system works out there. It's not
Yes.
very robust out there.
It's
There's
very unorganized.
very unorganized out there. So again, beyond metros, you find there's a real challenge if you have to look at the tier 2 cities or whatever. Very, very unorganized players. And I mean, you just have to leave it, in the sense you just put your money and just ensure that it happens. So these are some of the real challenges that you're facing today. And I think, I mean, there is a need for organized players, to come there, or some aggregators like this to come with some kind of very, very, robust mechanism to ensure that the brand's interests are safeguarded, because otherwise it's just like you put your monies and you just hope that everything happens as per.
Yeah. And they only provide pictures at the start of the campaign.
Start and the end of the campaign, that's what you have.
Agree, totally agree. Karthik, I want to understand from you. So, what will it take for a brand to move money from one media to a DOH or a PDOH kind of platform? What will it take? Like, what are the steps, or what are the things that they should consider while moving the spends from one media to
So there are some barriers. Since I'm somebody who's adopted recently, there are some barriers right now, and there could be some benefits in the future that I feel all brands can adopt. So I'll structure my answer in that sense. Number one, I think what Jiten was talking about and what Siddharth also touched upon. I think at least for a company like us, a retail brand, attribution is a very, very big aspect of whatever we do. So it's very imperative for us that we drive full funnel communication and we track last mile. Now we have partners like Google and Meta who are creating something called Okapi, which enables us to drive attribution a little bit beyond what we were already doing. In media, like, I mean, if I was to compare what OH used to be and print used to be, or rather print still is, attribution is almost non-existent. But for now, it's improving, at least I'd say, as far as OH is concerned. We're able to see much better heat maps of what's happening near the OH, and as Siddharth said, if there's a possibility to measure attribution, like for example, if I had put up an advertising on Bandra link and I'm able to find out through geofencing how many people have seen that ad and track them to store visits. Forget store purchase, even store entry points. And there we have our systems pretty much in place. That's absolutely fabulous. Then there's measurability. And in today's day and age, I think for any marketer, all the questions that comes from a business is always, at the end of the day, not so much as how much is your Tom mood or Spont mood, is more about how much business did you bring in through this discussion. And it's even more exaggerated in a retail scenario. So that's one thing that's important. I think with respect to measurability, it's not only limited to attribution. It could also be exactly what Jiten said. Are you able to guarantee that your ad is playing there continuously? I don't know if the systems exist to have camera monitoring or third-party monitoring for anything, because most of the OH campaign photos that we get, I mean, in today's age of generative AI, it's always, you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yes, it can be morphed also.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't know, we don't expect it, but there's always a shadow of a doubt, ki wo chala kya, fata kya, what happened, right? So in that case, knowing what is happening is very, very critical. The other bucket in terms of where a challenge is, and this is a challenge that is still something that I grapple with, and possibly therefore other marketers also grapple with. A lot of DOOH advertising media purchase is done on slots. Right? You buy a fixed number of slots, let's say 10 seconds in a 1 minute loop, correct?
Right.
typically, apart from cities like Bangalore and Mumbai, your traffic doesn't stop. Okay, or you have areas where it stops. We're next to Sakinaka, which is, I think, the flag bearer of traffic jams in Mumbai. But you have moving traffic. In a moving traffic scenario, typically you would have about 2 or 3 seconds to glance at an ad. Even if I was to exaggerate that to 5 seconds, my opportunity to see that ad is less than 15%, which means that I'm committing monies to an advertisement. My assumption of it being impactful is less than 15%.
Less than 15.
There is no media decision that I take where the OTS is so low, at least for our kind of brands. If we run a print ad, we know the print ad will run. If we run a outdoor ad, we know ki wo to rahega wahan pe. 2-3 seconds, if somebody is passing by, they will see. Here, I mean, on route here, I would have passed so many DOH ads, and I felt very bad for all the brands that just flipped before I passed their hoarding. All of their media money was effectively wasted. Now, there is a solution here as well, which is that you can buy larger parts of that particular, you can go to
Higher
10.
SOV.
Correct. You can take higher SOV. That's when you realize that these things come at, I mean, the premium then starts hitting you. When you look at, let's do 100% SOV, oh, this is quite expensive. It isn't as cheap as what I thought it was. And that's the play there. I have a feeling that over a period of time, with more DOH proliferation, as I can see now, either of two things will happen. Either the rates will go down or marketers will get used to having these kind of rates within their budget. So they will pre-plan for it. So these are two current challenges that are there in my mind and possibly in the marketing fraternity as well. Going forward, I really think that shooting for content and innovation using DOH as a medium is very, very important. I mean, we just executed one DOH campaign the first time and we didn't shoot for it. It just happened to be that we had creatives that lend itself. So we had three side-by-side DOHs and all three are visible in one view. So in two of them, we put close-ups of our garments, and in one, we put a beauty shot of a model walking around wearing that exact garment. We've never done anything like this before, and it looks fabulous from a, at least from a brand perspective or from a consumer perspective, it's quite impactful. However, we didn't shoot keeping that in mind. If you go to markets like Bangkok or Vietnam, you will see that a lot of their communication is DOH based. And a lot of creatives that they run are perfect for DOH. They aren't static to begin with. They are bold, exaggerated, wacky, a little gimmicky sometimes, very eye-catching, very motion-driven. I think there is a little bit of leeway that is given on their particular brand's brand book as well. But that's the way I see creatives and content evolving. And this is very important because if the, I mean, I'm sure we have outdoors, we have DOH, and we have programmatic enablement on that. But if your content isn't attractive to begin with or relevant to begin with for the kind of audience that is passing in front of the screen, then it will, I mean, it's just all money wasted. Or rather, exponential factor that could have come on that advertisement is missing. So I think that's something that as a marketing fraternity we'll need to develop, but we'll get there. As it increases, as we see better and better examples, I think we will possibly get there.
Talking about creatives, while I was boarding my flight from Delhi, I saw Indriya's creatives on airport, and they have taken like multiple DOH sites back to back, and there were multiple different jewelry pieces. Which
this is Delhi, right?
Yeah, it's
the
Delhi.
Lounge,
Yeah.
the
security.
gates.
Yeah, security.
Yeah.
After security.
So we ran a Park Avenue campaign there,
Okay.
and so we had it on all the screens here, all the screens there, and we did a pre-post interview through third party. It was run through, I believe, Nielsen or Kantar, and we got significant lifts in awareness of our brand and recognition of people watching that creative, much as you just said about Indriya.
Yeah.
So clearly measurable impact through
Yeah,
those.
I think the placement, the target audience, as well as the creative, because they've utilized it to showcase different jewelry places. I think all of it was on point, and hence I was able to remember that. So I want to understand from Siddharth, what are some of the innovative formats or innovations that one can try while using programmatic OH?
I think one of the biggest innovation is that you can do audience-based planning on out of home now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
That's a big one.
all the digital briefs now come with an audience mandate, and ultimately, as you exactly said, right, that you are an audience, and you like as a marketer, you would want to go to the audience rather than choose screens, basically. So so with the data, you understand that okay, these are the screens, these are the consumers around this screen, or this is the profile of the consumers who are regular footfalls in these locations and hence in this screen, and hence you can do a audience based planning, and that will fit pretty well into your rest of the digital media planning, right? Because that's how you are planning the rest of the digital media as well. Secondly, you can also do innovations like, you can sync up with weather and you can change your creatives accordingly. So,
Yeah.
or, you can also sync up with any macro trend which is very relevant for your brand. Or you can also look at like something which is very interesting for audiences like a IPL score. And along with that, your creative is coming and your creative is changing with the events in the match.
So we can do API integration.
You can do API integration.
That's a fantastic thing.
And yeah, meaning I think that as both Jitin and Karthik said, it's very, very important to also drive the end outcome. That is something which is very critical. I would say even on the supply side also, right? So why programmatic is important in the digital industry is because you are able to get the right audience at the right price. And that's what eventually is going to happen for out of home as well, because as you will have more and more DOH screens, and I think Karthik was referring to that, you can still reach out to the same audiences, but you can do better price discovery, you can do better location discovery and so on with aggregation and with programmatic. So I think that is going to happen as we go along, and that's very, very critical as well. And then, yeah, of course, in terms of you can also use AI for doing creatives. You can also use AI for planning, right? We just launched a platform which is completely AI based, and you can do all these things: audience based planning, full funnel platform, tracking, all these things, and even creative modifications and so on through our AI based platform. So yeah, things are going to get more and more exciting in this space.
I think audience bit is something very interesting as a media planner, I would say, because that will give us an opportunity to utilize the pool on other platforms also, whether it is Meta, YouTube, or any other platform. And I can also create a lookalike and utilize it in my media campaign. So that's a great step, I would say. As we are closing the panel almost now, I just want to quickly do like a quick check. Starting from you, Jitin, one line or one word for the future of programmatic OH.
I think it's inevitable. I mean, we've got so used to programmatic display advertising right now, and you want to do the kind of customized targeting that you want to do. You want to reach out to the right set of customer at the right time, at the right context. I think programmatic is the future. It's just that the overall infra needs to kind of develop. I mean, we still, I don't think, have reached there, right? I think the spends on PDOH is still very, very less, is what I understand, right? So I think it's all about ensuring that we get the infra, but I think that's the way to go forward right now, because you have limited monies and you want to use it very, very efficiently, target it to the right set of people, get your message across at the right time to the right set of people. So I think it's inevitable.
Considering the length and breadth of India, I think that penetration is required. Karthik, from you, one line on the future of programmatic OH.
Programmatic, okay. We will need to understand it a lot more. I think it's early days, and I think we're taking baby steps into DOH, at least brands like us, more traditional brands. therefore a greater understanding, a greater interaction, understanding of what are the use cases that are relevant to us as a brand. How can we implement? As a brand, we're very open to experimenting on a lot of things. So if there are relevant use cases for us, more than happy to adopt. And I think a lot of other brands will also follow suit.
Definitely. Siddharth, one line from you on the future of programmatic OH. How are you seeing people adopting it?
Right. So I think we have done more than 1,000 campaigns on programmatic out of home, right? So it's a very mature technology from our side, and a lot of brands have already adopted it. And so yeah, meaning as both Karthik and Jitin are saying, so it's inevitable because now we are in the AI of 100% digital. We are in the age of 100% digitization and AI.
Yes.
And programmatic is actually a small part of it. You know, the thing which is impacting us is much larger. AI is just starting.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So and programmatic out of home is nothing but connecting all the screens and connecting it to the AI, which we have now and which is going to progress every month. AI is getting better. So yeah, meaning it's just a building block, but pure programmatic out of home is actually old news now. It's the AI-led programmatic out of home which is going to define the future.
Looking forward to. So just to summarize the entire discussion, the future of programmatic OH is inevitable, as Jitin has mentioned, and it's not about choosing between digital and outdoor, but programmatic OH is giving you that opportunity to bring together or blend both the platforms so that we can give a better value, better efficiency in that campaign. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much to our panelists. May we request you to please step forward, allow us an opportunity to also now invite as our presenter of the token of appreciation, Navneet Singh Dhingra, who's a director at Orango Solutions and a specialist in airport media. Please do join me in giving him a big round of applause. Navneet, first, if we may request you to give a token of appreciation to Jitin. Please give Jitin a big round of applause. The Chief Marketing Officer, Heritage India, Karthik, thank you so much for joining in. Head Brand Raymond Lifestyle Limited. Siddharth, thank you for joining in, the Chief Business Officer of Lemma. And of course, our moderator, Deepshika, National Lead Media Strategy, Shebang. And may I urge all of you to come together for a group photograph, and maybe request all of you, while as you take those cameras out, remember to continue with the hashtag. And with that, thank you so much to our panelists. Before we break in for lunch, I'd just like to make a short announcement. Well, we do have an exciting lucky draw on the other side of the lunch. So what we're going to do is we're going to be placing chits on the table when you return. We would request you to please write your name as well as company name clearly. Please do not write a pet name or anything. We just request you to write your original name and the company name. Of course, we're going to be then thereby, once you're back from lunch, collecting those chits, and then we'll do a lucky draw towards the end of the conference or maybe in between. So we just request all of you, once you're back from your lunch, to fill in the chits which will be placed on the table. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us. So far, it's been a great conference. We request you to now join us at 2:40 IST, Indian Standard Time, for our upcoming second half of our conversation. Thank you so much. Please do join us for 40 minutes of lunch and networking.
Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. The group's flagship news portal, exchangeformedia.com, reaches over 6 lakh subscribers. Impact, the weekly news magazine from the group, is the most widely read business magazine. The monthly Pitch magazine provides a ringside view of events unfolding in the marketing landscape, along with media and advertising. Another monthly magazine, Realty Plus, is a market leader in reportage on the real estate industries. In addition to niche, bespoke events and roundtables curated especially for discerning clients. Exchange for Media events attract stalwarts as speakers, along with a loyal audience comprising of leaders, trendsetters and opinion makers. Exchange for Media.
At the start of the millennium, a vision to publish niche, relevant, and quality content for the marketing, advertising, and media professionals was realized with Impact magazine. From publishing investigative pieces to asking tough questions to the industry leaders, recognizing the big trends in the advertising ecosystem and bringing in a global perspective.
A brand new and unique global creative network called Densher Creative.
How do you creatively solve a problem or push something, a conversation forward? So I love that a lot.
I just know that's very representative still. I think we have some really strong storytelling.
Impact has been the industry's voice for the past 2 decades. The magazine launched industry-first properties like 50 most influential women in media, marketing, and advertising. Impact Person of the Year.
I am deeply touched by the recognition and the honor.
I accept this wonderful award with a lot of pride and happiness.
Top 30 under 30, which have over time become benchmarks for industry professionals. 22 years of keeping the readers hooked on to its in-depth coverage and analysis. Impact magazine.
Extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the jury, to the organizers for this award. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people who've made our network go 24/7 for the last several decades.
इस जीत का कारण क्या है? वो गिरते जाते हैं हमको पीछे खींचने में, लेकिन आज तक आगे बढ़ता जाता है क्योंकि हम इनोवेशन नए तरीके से लोगों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं और यही वजह है क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि इस बार अलग क्या करना है, बड़ा क्या करना है, और जब सोच लेते हैं तो कर लेते हैं.
This entire award is to these wonderful people who do this night after night. So they deserve the award. You don't see them on air, but they are the reason why we are on air.
The award in this category must be you. Something you really remember from this entire thing.
Changes your life. और ये अवार्ड इसीलिए स्पेशल हो जाता है क्योंकि सारे लोग महाकुंभ पर शोज बना रहे थे. मेरी छोटी सी टीम है, मैं कुछ 2-3 लोग और जो जुड़कर एक प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, इसीलिए बहुत कोजी सा प्रोग्राम बनता है. मुझे लगता है इसीलिए सबके दिल को छू जाता है.
ये अवार्ड्स हमारे सारे दर्शकों का है क्योंकि उन्होंने न सिर्फ टीवी में, अपने लिविंग रूम में, अपने घर में मुझे जगह दी, बल्कि अपने दिलों में जगह दी. उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ पसंद नहीं किया बल्कि प्यार किया है.
इंडिया टुडे मैगजीन का 50वां साल है और उसमें ये अवार्ड मिला है, हम लोगों के लिए खुशी की बात है. और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये हमारी पूरी टीम की ओर से हमारे चेयरमैन एंड एडिटर इन चीफ को समर्पित है.
Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. The group's flagship news portal, exchangeformedia.com, reaches over 6 lakh subscribers. Impact, the weekly news magazine from the group, is the most widely read business magazine. The monthly Pitch magazine provides a ringside view of events unfolding in the marketing landscape, along with media and advertising. Another monthly magazine, Realty Plus, is a market leader in reportage on the real estate industries. In addition to niche, bespoke events and roundtables curated especially for discerning clients. Exchange for Media events attract stalwarts as speakers, along with a loyal audience comprising of leaders, trendsetters and opinion makers. Exchange for Media.
At the start of the millennium, a vision to publish niche, relevant and quality content for the marketing, advertising and media professionals was realized with Impact magazine. From publishing investigative pieces to asking tough questions to the industry leaders, recognizing the big trends in the advertising ecosystem and bringing in a global perspective.
A brand new and unique global creative network called Denser Creative.
How do you creatively solve a problem or push something, a conversation forward? So I love that a lot.
I just know that's very representative still. I think we have some really strong storytelling.
Impact has been the industry's voice for the past 2 decades. The magazine launched industry-first properties like 50 most influential women in media, marketing and advertising, Impact Person of the Year.
I am deeply touched by the recognition and the honor.
I accept this wonderful award with a lot of pride and happiness.
Top 30 under 30, which have over time become benchmarks for industry professionals. 22 years of keeping the readers hooked on to its in-depth coverage and analysis. Impact magazine.
I would extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the jury, to the organizers for this award. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people who've made our network go 24/7 for the last several decades.
इस जीत का कारण क्या है? वो गिरते जाते हैं हमको पीछे खींचने में, लेकिन आज तक आगे बढ़ता जाता है क्योंकि हम इनोवेशन, नए तरीके से लोगों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं और यही वजह है क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि इस बार अलग क्या करना है, बड़ा क्या करना है, और जब सोच लेते हैं तो कर लेते हैं.
This entire award is to these wonderful people who do this night after night. So they deserve the award. You don't see them on air, but they are the reason why we are on air.
To win an award in this category must be huge. Something you really remember from this entire thing. Changes your life. और ये अवार्ड इसीलिए स्पेशल हो जाता है क्योंकि सारे लोग महाकुंभ पर शोज बना रहे थे. मेरी छोटी सी टीम है. मैं कुछ 2-3 लोग और जो जुड़कर एक प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, इसीलिए बहुत कोजी सा प्रोग्राम होता है. मुझे लगता है इसीलिए सबके दिल को छू जाता है.
ये अवार्ड्स हमारे सारे दर्शकों का है क्योंकि उन्होंने न सिर्फ टीवी में, अपने लिविंग रूम में, अपने घर में मुझे जगह दी, बल्कि अपने दिलों में जगह दी. उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ पसंद नहीं किया बल्कि प्यार किया है.
इंडिया टुडे मैगजीन का 50वां साल है और उसमें ये अवार्ड मिला है. हम लोगों के लिए खुशी की बात है और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ये हमारी पूरी टीम की ओर से हमारे चेयरमैन एंड एडिटर इन चीफ को समर्पित है।
Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. The group's flagship news portal, exchangeformedia.com, reaches over 6 lakh subscribers. Impact, the weekly news magazine from the group, is the most widely read business magazine. The monthly Pitch magazine provides a ringside view of events unfolding in the marketing landscape, along with media and advertising. Another monthly magazine, Realty Plus, is a market leader in reportage on the real estate industries. In addition to niche, bespoke events and roundtables curated especially for discerning clients. Exchange for Media events attract stalwarts as speakers, along with a loyal audience comprising of leaders, trendsetters, and opinion makers. Exchange for Media.
At the start of the millennium, a vision to publish niche, relevant, and quality content for the marketing, advertising, and media professionals was realized with Impact magazine. From publishing investigative pieces to asking tough questions to the industry leaders, recognizing the big trends in the advertising ecosystem and bringing in a global perspective.
A brand new and unique global creative network called Densher Creative.
How do you creatively solve a problem or push something, a conversation forward? So I love that a lot.
I just know that's very representative still. I think we have some really strong storytelling.
Impact has been the industry's voice for the past 2 decades. The magazine launched industry-first properties like 50 most influential women in media, marketing, and advertising. Impact Person of the Year.
I am deeply touched by the recognition and the honor.
I accept this wonderful award with a lot of pride and happiness.
Top 30 under 30, which have over time become benchmarks for industry professionals. 22 years of keeping the readers hooked on to its in-depth coverage and analysis. Impact magazine.
I would extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the jury, to the organizers for this award. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people who've made our network go 24/7 for the last several decades.
इस जीत का कारण क्या है? तो वो गिरते जाते हैं हमको पीछे खींचने में, लेकिन आज तक आगे बढ़ता जाता है क्योंकि हम इनोवेशन, नए तरीके से लोगों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं। और यही वजह है क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि इस बार अलग क्या करना है, बड़ा क्या करना है, और जब सोच लेते हैं तो कर लेते हैं।
This entire award is to these wonderful people who do this night after night. So they deserve the award. You don't see them on air, but they are the reason why we are on air.
Winning award in this category must be huge. Something you really remember from this entire thing. Changes your life. और ये अवार्ड इसलिए स्पेशल हो जाता है क्योंकि सारे लोग महाकुंभ पर शोज बना रहे थे। मेरी छोटी सी टीम है, मैं कुछ 2-3 लोग और जो जुड़कर एक प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, इसीलिए बहुत कोजी सा प्रोग्राम बनता है। मुझे लगता है इसीलिए सबके दिल को छू जाता है।
ये अवार्ड्स हमारे सारे दर्शकों का है क्योंकि उन्होंने न सिर्फ टीवी में, अपने लिविंग रूम में, अपने घर में मुझे जगह दी, बल्कि अपने दिलों में जगह दी। उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ पसंद नहीं किया बल्कि प्यार किया है।
इंडिया टुडे मैगजीन का 50वां साल है और उसमें ये अवार्ड मिला है, हम लोगों के लिए खुशी की बात है। और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये हमारी पूरी टीम की ओर से हमारे चेयरमैन एंड एडिटर इन चीफ को समर्पित है।
Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. The group's flagship news portal, exchangeformedia.com, reaches over 6 lakh subscribers. Impact, the weekly news magazine from the group, is the most widely read business magazine. The monthly Pitch magazine provides a ringside view of events unfolding in the marketing landscape, along with media and advertising. Another monthly magazine, Realty Plus, is a market leader in reportage on the real estate industries. In addition to niche, bespoke events and roundtables curated especially for discerning clients. Exchange for Media events attract stalwarts as speakers, along with a loyal audience comprising of leaders, trendsetters and opinion makers. Exchange for Media.
At the start of the millennium, a vision to publish niche, relevant and quality content for the marketing, advertising and media professionals was realized with Impact magazine. From publishing investigative pieces to asking tough questions to the industry leaders, recognizing the big trends in the advertising ecosystem and bringing in a global perspective.
A brand new and unique global creative network called Densher Creative.
How do you creatively solve a problem or push something, a conversation forward? So I love that a lot.
I just know that's very representative still. I think we have some really strong storytelling.
Impact has been the industry's voice for the past 2 decades. The magazine launched industry-first properties like 50 most influential women in media, marketing and advertising, Impact Person of the Year.
I am deeply touched by the recognition and the honor.
I accept this wonderful award with a lot of pride and happiness.
Top 30 under 30, which have over time become benchmarks for industry professionals. 22 years of keeping the readers hooked on to its in-depth coverage and analysis. Impact magazine.
I would extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the jury, to the organizers for this award. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people who've made our network go 24/7 for the last several decades.
इस जीत का कारण क्या है? वो गिरते जाते हैं हमको पीछे खींचने में, लेकिन आज तक आगे बढ़ता जाता है क्योंकि हम इनोवेशन, नए तरीके से लोगों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं और यही वजह है क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि इस बार अलग क्या करना है, बड़ा क्या करना है, और जब सोच लेते हैं तो कर लेते हैं.
This entire award is to these wonderful people who do this night after night. So they deserve the award. You don't see them on air, but they are the reason why we are on air.
To win an award in this category must be huge. Something you really remember from this entire thing. Changes your life. और ये अवार्ड इसीलिए स्पेशल हो जाता है क्योंकि सारे लोग महाकुंभ पर शोज बना रहे थे. मेरी छोटी सी टीम है, मैं कुछ 2-3 लोग और जो जुड़कर एक प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, इसीलिए बहुत कोजी सा प्रोग्राम बनता है. मुझे लगता है इसीलिए सबके दिल को छू जाता है.
ये अवार्ड्स हमारे सारे दर्शकों का है क्योंकि उन्होंने न सिर्फ टीवी में, अपने लिविंग रूम में, अपने घर में मुझे जगह दी, बल्कि अपने दिलों में जगह दी. उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ पसंद नहीं किया बल्कि प्यार किया है.
इंडिया टुडे मैगजीन का 50वां साल है और उसमें ये अवार्ड मिला है. हम लोगों के लिए खुशी की बात है और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ये हमारी पूरी टीम की ओर से हमारे चेयरमैन एंड एडिटर इन चीफ को समर्पित है।
Exchange for Media, a name synonymous with the latest news about the advertising industry in India. The Exchange for Media Group, set up in 2000, has the most credible media platforms covering the entire advertising, media and marketing domain with its highly acclaimed digital, print and on-ground assets. The group's flagship news portal, exchangeformedia.com, reaches over 6 lakh subscribers. Impact, the weekly news magazine from the group, Pitch magazine provides a ringside view of events unfolding in the marketing landscape, along with media and advertising. Another monthly magazine, Realty Plus, is a market leader in reportage on the real estate industries. In addition to niche, bespoke events and roundtables curated especially for discerning clients. Exchange for Media events attract stalwarts as speakers, along with a loyal audience comprising of leaders, trendsetters, and opinion makers. Exchange for Media.
At the start of the millennium, a vision to publish niche, relevant, and quality content for the marketing, advertising, and media professionals was realized with Impact magazine. From publishing investigative pieces to asking tough questions to the industry leaders, recognizing the big trends in the advertising ecosystem and bringing in a global perspective.
A brand new and unique global creative network called Densher Creative.
How do you creatively solve a problem or push something, a conversation forward? So I love that a lot.
I just know that that's very representative still. I think we have some really strong storytelling.
Impact has been the industry's voice for the past 2 decades. The magazine launched industry-first properties like 50 most influential women in media, marketing, and advertising. Impact Person of the Year.
I am deeply touched by the recognition and the honor.
I accept this wonderful award with a lot of pride and happiness.
Top 30 under 30, which have over time become benchmarks for industry professionals. 22 years of keeping the readers hooked on to its in-depth coverage and analysis. Impact magazine.
I would extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the jury, to the organizers for this award. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people who've made our network go 24/7 for the last several decades.
इस जीत का कारण क्या है? वो गिरते जाते हैं हमको पीछे खींचने में, लेकिन आज तक आगे बढ़ता जाता है क्योंकि हम इनोवेशन, नए तरीके से लोगों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं और यही वजह है क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि इस बार अलग क्या करना है, बड़ा क्या करना है, और जब सोच लेते हैं तो कर लेते हैं.
This entire award is to these wonderful people who do this night after night. So they deserve the award. You don't see them on air, but they are the reason why we are on air.
To win an award in this category must be huge. Something you really remember from this entire thing. Changes your life. और ये अवार्ड इसलिए स्पेशल हो जाता है क्योंकि सारे लोग महाकुंभ पर शोज बना रहे थे. मेरी छोटी सी टीम है, मैं कुछ 2-3 लोग और जो जुड़कर एक प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, इसीलिए बहुत कोजी सा प्रोग्राम बनता है. मुझे लगता है इसीलिए सबके दिल को छू जाता है.
ये अवार्ड्स हमारे सारे दर्शकों का है क्योंकि उन्होंने न सिर्फ टीवी में, अपने लिविंग रूम में, अपने घर में मुझे जगह दी, बल्कि अपने दिलों में जगह दी. उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ पसंद नहीं किया बल्कि प्यार किया है.
इंडिया टुडे मैगजीन का 50वां साल है और उसमें ये अवार्ड मिला है, हम लोगों के लिए खुशी की बात है. और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये हमारी पूरी टीम की ओर से हमारे चेयरमैन एंड एडिटर इन चीफ को समर्पित है.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we request you all to kindly settle down. We'll give you another minute plus. May we request everyone to kindly settle down. And for all the ones who've just joined us back from lunch, just a reminder to place your phones on the silent mode before we restart. I'm sure a lot of us would have taken calls once we were outside, so just a reminder for all of you to place your phones on the silent mode. Just give us another minute. We just want the doors to be closed, and of course, thank you so much for joining us back on time. Thank you so much. Well, firstly, welcome back, everyone. My name is Bhavna Bhatia, and on behalf of Exchange for Media, I would like to re-welcome all of you to the 8th edition of the e4m OOH Conference 2026. Believe me, this is just the beginning of our conversations. We've got a fantastic lineup of speakers who are joining us today to share their knowledge on the platform, and I'm sure a lot of us will learn from it.